Hello, my name is Emma Towers and I'm a sophomore at Alma College. I am currently working on a triple major in special education, elementary education, and psychology. Today I'm going to be talking to you about assessments. The first type of assessment is criterion reference tests. These are tests that compare a student's performance with a specific standard. An example of this is the Common Core State Standards Initiative, which is a set of guidelines that tell what a student should know before they graduate from high school. A formative assessment is the variety of ways that the student assess students' learning, or the teachers assess students' learning while the instruction is taking place. Then, based on that, they can adjust the lesson to make it harder or easier based on what the students need. A summative assessment records the student's performance at the end of the lesson. This is your typical test or quiz or maybe an essay, and it's usually based on quantity, like how many they get right out of a certain number. Triangulation is the process by which the teachers come to a full understanding of what their students are learning and what level they're at. They can use assessments like the formative, criterion reference, summative, or all three of those, or they can also base it on conversations and observations that they have of the students. This is really important because of the fact that no two students are going to learn exactly the same way. One test might not give an accurate picture of the level of learning that the student has achieved. The Brigance Reading Comprehension Test is a standardized test that's given to determine a student's level of comprehension ability. The student will read a piece of text and then some questions and answer the questions out loud to the administrator, and the student has to get 80% correct to move on to the next grade level. These are the results of a Brigance test that I had administered, and as you can see, the student got most of the first pages all the way correct, and then started missing a couple, but still was at that 80% mark, so he got to move on to the next grade level. And then at the 8th grade level he only got 3 right, so that would put his reading level at a 7th grade level. This test helps determine the student's level of reading ability, so then you can find texts that he will be able to understand and be able to appropriately challenge him without making it too hard. So he's learning and is working on the things that he needs to work on without making it too hard for him. This is what I did in this lesson, where we found an appropriate text for him to read, and he is now working on his reading fluency. And here I had him read out loud, and you'll notice that he self-corrects in this video, where usually if he struggles on a word too much, then I can help him.
During the winter of 2006 and 2007, roughly 750,000 of the estimated 2.4 million colonies in the United States have vanished. On average, U.S. beekeepers lost 38% of their colonies. In 2008, the largest known disappearance occurred in the almond tree groves of California. 2 billion bees vanished. Both farmers and beekeepers were desperate for science to shed some light on the mystery.
So in conclusion, the Brigance is one example of a test that can be used to determine where a student's at, and by using that you can individualize his education by picking things that are just right for him. According to Dr. Susan Z, reading is something that is neglected by most American schools. She says that 1 in 5 American adults are illiterate, which is a huge number, and a group that is particularly struggling with reading is students with learning disabilities. students with learning disabilities are more likely to have reading disabilities as well, and the problems can be compounded on top of each other. And basically, Dr. Z says that it's important to catch a reading disability early, so early assessment helps, and then based on those assessments you can find ways to help that student individually. And some of those strategies might include working on sight words or phonics. Maybe language therapy can even help students to understand how to link sounds and letters and words.